calling the Cedar Creek Township Board meeting to order on Tuesday, November 9th at 6 o'clock p.m. We are meeting at the Cedar Creek Township Hall. This meeting is being recorded by Andy O'Reilly of Lakeshore Creative Services. It will be posted on our website within the next several days. Mr. Skinner, who will be our soon-to-be clerk, will you please lead us in the pledge? And I actually know where the flag is. This one.
We got you trained.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I did prepare some sample agendas, so if you didn't pick one up, they are back there. And it explains public comments, so help yourself to those if you would. May I please have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Second. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, the agenda is approved.
Non-title.
No, not until you go. I always forget that. I
Trustee
apologize.
Wright,
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis,
Yes.
Trustee Foster.
Yes.
Clerk Kuziak, yes. Supervisor Art.
Yes.
Motion
I
passes.
may never ever get that, so I apologize. I gotta get my agenda here, which seems to be stuck. Literally. Okay, minutes.
I'll make the motion that we accept the minutes from October 12th, 2021.
Okay. Did you say second?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any edits or comments they'd like to make on that?
Okay. Trustee Wright,
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis.
Yes.
Trustee Foster.
Yes.
Clerk Kuziak, Supervisor Art.
Yes. Treasurer's report. Heather has prepared a treasurer's report for you, and she has also given you an additional handout, which was due to some additional information was not ready at that time. So Heather, if you would take it from there.
Sure. Our October 1st, 2021 beginning general fund balance was $1,196,655.47. Our revenues totaled $84,019.64. Our expenditures totaled $192,376.13, leaving us with an ending balance of $1,088,298.98.
Fire services, huh?
Yes.
Fire services
And
and 2 roads.
Roads, yeah.
Right.
I paid for both the roads, and I paid Holton, so you guys know. The next one is due in December. So we were so behind with Holton because they didn't have their contract ready for us. So when I paid them, I just paid them the full $48,000. I'm not gonna send them another check next month for $24,000. I just sent them the whole thing, so they are completely paid.
And they're okay with that?
Yeah, yeah, they were just fine. I mean, they're getting 48 instead of 24.
Yeah, but I didn't know if they had to say, well, no, we don't wanna take it until it's due, or.
Yeah, no, they were good with it. I called and told them I was doing that,
Good.
so.
The additional document that you have is a proposed budget amendment. We received a bill from the Drain Commissioner for the at-large portion, Cedar Creek's portion of the Becker and Wells drains. Our portion is $250 for Becker and $6.09 for Wells. We have not paid for a drain since we've had our BS&A general ledger program. So we talked to the auditor about how that money should be recorded. And he suggested that we create a new department for drains and a new account for contracted services under drains. So this budget amendment is just so that we're gonna take $257 from our contingency account to our new drains account that we just created, so that we can pay this bill, and all of our accounting is in line, so.
Do we see more of this coming from the drain commissioner?
I believe these are both a one-time,
Okay.
so, but.
That's why we just
That's
moved.
not to say there won't be more
Yeah.
drains in the future,
Right.
but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for this fiscal year, yeah, this should be it for us.
So I make a motion to approve the budget amendment for the drain.
Sport.
Any questions? Anyone have any questions for Heather on this? Okay.
Trustee Wright,
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis,
Yes.
Trustee Foster.
Yes.
Clerk Kuziak, yes. Supervisor Arts,
Yes.
motion passed.
And we will place Heather's report on file. Stephanie, do you have, I know you have disbursements. That was silly. I know you have disbursements.
This month, just the normal disbursements. We won't have anything out of the ordinary. Next month, I will be paying the other 2 fire contracts. So December will have a large hit, but November should just be normal. We did purchase a new printer. It was underneath the ceiling of what we can spend, so we had to have it, so we did that. I will let you guys know, though, I did some finagling, and we have a new shredding company. The other one had jumped from $39, it's all the way up to $80 every 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Every 6 weeks, $80. So, Applied Imaging, which is our contractor for our copy machine, has started Shred Hub. And it's $45 every 6 weeks. So for the first 90 days, they will pick up every month, every 4 weeks, just to get our volume and see where we're at, make sure we're okay with what we ordered. And then after that, it'll be $45 every 6 months, so.
Awesome.
Good for you for calling.
Good.
So, no, I just followed up on an email, so, and it saved us some money, so.
Finagling probably was not the best choice of
Well,
words.
I
don't know. I think maybe research was.
Research, okay. You know me with my words, they just, so, anyway,
like it is.
disbursements are just normal.
Yeah,
So I
so
just need the
may
motion.
I have a motion to pay, to do this wise research and pay the bills.
I make a motion that we approve the disbursements. Just put it that
I'll
way.
support.
Beat me.
I could hear it.
Any
sorry.
discussion or?
I have water.
Okay. Trustee Wright,
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis.
Yes.
Trustee Foster.
Yes.
Clerk Kuziak, yes. Supervisor Arts.
Absolutely.
Disbursements covered.
Motion carries. There are no department reports this month. What about correspondence?
I did receive 2 letters from Card Member Services, and I am gonna call on them because they're telling me that we have a card with the ending number of 0407, and I don't know who that belongs to. Because I've checked Heather's, I've checked Linda's, and I've checked mine. So I don't know if this is an old card that should have been stopped, which I've stopped everybody's, and they didn't catch this. But these letters are stating that, congratulations, we're pleased to inform you that we recognize how you spend your money, and they jumped us to $32,000. Do we want it to stay that way, or would you like me to call and tell them to leave it the way it is?
How much do we usually spend on one?
I believe
An
Heather's
average.
card and my card are both $3,500, and I believe Linda's card is $5,000.
And have you ever had to ask for,
The only time we ran into something was just this last month when we ordered the lifts, because 2 of them were gonna hit the 5,000. So we did 2 on hers and we did 1 on mine. We could have used Heather's too. So you have the capability of covering up to those 3 credit cards. If you ever need to do an expenditure, all it's going to be is your new clerk to call the bank and tell them we need an increase. And you could get it. They're already got us where we can get to 32,000. So I personally think it should stay down. I don't think anybody should have
I
that
agree.
much of a.
that's why I asked if it's ever gonna be that way.
Yeah, if
This
you-
one time is just a one-time.
Right, and we were
closeness.
still able to do it between the 2 cards.
Yeah.
So I would like a motion to ask that I call Prior Member Services and tell them we want to stay as we are and check on this
I'll
for.
make that motion.
Thank you, Bob.
Second.
Any discussion on this?
Okay. Trustee Foster.
Yes.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
That's okay.
Super.
That's
Okay,
fine.
Clerk Kuziak, I'm mixing it up.
You pointed,
Yes. Trustee Wright.
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis.
Yes.
Supervisor Arts.
Yes, I think it should stay low for safety's sake.
I agree.
Yeah, otherwise you're gonna say, we can do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was all I had.
Motion carries. So, all right, public comments, agenda items only. Does anyone have any?
It does make for a better meeting.
Yeah. Public comments going once, public comments, agenda items only going twice, public comments. Agenda items only going 3 times.
We done.
All right, unfinished business, MTA virtual conference. I am so happy to have been able to go to that. I'm going to report on this just briefly. Having started my career as an educator, it's always been my belief that education is a wonderful opportunity, so I really appreciated this. There's always so much more that we can learn if we're given that opportunity. And this was the case with this MTA conference. They kicked off the conference with one of my favorite presenters, and we had an opportunity to bring her here to Muskegon MTA at our local quarterly meeting, Nancy Oley. Nancy's strength is helping us find our center when we might be under great duress, and I think, and finding us find our ground if we're feeling really pressure. So that was one of the sessions. We also had a session on the Land Division Act, which, Martha, you know well that Land Division Act is not a fun thing to do. And it's certainly not anything that I as supervisor want to tackle. They have given us the opportunity to revisit this for 3 months. I am going to revisit that session again because it is really, really tricky. And I will share this with Lorraine as well. And we also had a refresher on the Open Meetings Act, which is something that we are really careful about here in Cedar Creek. We also do it with any of our committees and our commissions. Our task force meetings don't have to be. They're not necessarily subject to the Open Meetings Act, but we make certain they are. So anytime we are at Cedar Creek, you can be assured that we follow Open Meetings Act rules and regulations. There was also a session on grant writing, and as a grant writer, I really appreciate any time that I'm afforded the opportunity to learn more. So that was a class that I also really was grateful that I had that opportunity to learn a little bit more about. We also had an HR session that proved to be helpful in understanding how to be the best employer, and Cedar Creek Township is an employer, how to be the best employer that Cedar Creek Township can be. So that's just a little bit in a nutshell. It was 2 intense days, and I was here by myself, which was kind of nice, a little bit lonely. And I cleaned my desk while I was listening to them too, so it
She
was a
cleaned her
double,
desk.
it was a double win. So, Peggy, do you want to share a little bit about it?
Yeah, I did the virtual 2-day. Yeah, it is very intense. You kind of hit a lot of the points that I was gonna, kind of talk about. But I like to have a little bit of fun, but let me tell you what happened. Well, I'm used to doing virtual. We did virtual as township meetings and so forth. So like I was all set up, you know, I get into my sunroom and I had my computer on. But before then, I kinda got it gussied up a little bit, okay? So I did my hair, made sure the makeup on, and had a nice shirt on, just to find out they ain't gonna see you and I'm not gonna see them, it's just listening to the speaker.
Well, you made yourself feel good, didn't you?
So I was really kind of dressed up, kind of acting like I was supposed to be there, you know, in person. But I wasn't there in person. So the first day I was kind of gussied up, just, you know, to make it look good. And I didn't even need to do that. I could have been there in my pajamas. Second day I was in my pajamas with the house coat. Let's see, I kind of made some little bit of notes here too. There was a lot of things. We had the autonomy of the township, and a little bit about financing, how the finances, you know, so interesting to listen, you know, to one of the things that you kind of do. So I had some financing in there too, how to do that. We had state and local relations, you know, how to get along with each other from state to state, community to community, township to township. And also knowing what's the difference between a township and a city, so we all learned the differences between it all. Then we had the roles of an Open Meetings Act, which was very informative because that's something we were always talking about. I listened to all of those and I did learn quite a bit, but I also did discover that I can go back and listen to them.
Yeah.
Because they have them and they've just recently sent them to me that I can go back. So what I have done, and maybe I shouldn't have, but I took theirs and put it into, so I can read it anytime I want to.
Not wrong with
Because
that, we pay
sometimes-
for it.
Because sometimes when I open up books, you know, I like to read a book, I'll read a book online, and I'm able to do this online too. So I have a backup to,
That's
you know,
awesome.
everything that I've learned, you know, not to keep on going, but.
You saved yours.
No, I haven't yet, but I
Yeah,
can. You can download it into
Yeah,
a
you
flash drive
can.
to
Yep,
save it.
Yep, so I
And I can attest to the fact, because I called Peggy before hers, and she was in the shower, so.
I was getting gussied up. I thought we could have face-to-face. But I did miss going face-to-face because there were times I had questions. They have, you know, on their little hand that you can, you know, kind
Right.
of go on with a little hand. Nobody would answer me on there. Nobody would open up the questions that I would have, trying to say, let me
I
in,
did
let
have
me
that
in.
option in mind.
Yeah, the option was there, but they didn't take notice
Oh.
as I tried to raise the
Oh,
fake hand,
yeah.
you know, up
And I
to
could see
that.
people in mine, so
You
I don't,
could-
yeah.
I could see them, I could see the speakers that you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about, the speakers, and we couldn't see anybody in the audience, it was just mainly
Yeah.
up here
Yeah.
where the desk and speakers are, you know,
Yeah.
to speak, and.
But it was, quite frankly, it was money well spent, so
Yeah, very
I
informative.
appreciate the
And
opportunity.
again, I saved it because, you know, sometimes it's, you get more out of the second time.
Mhm.
You know, instead of reading a book, I'm gonna go back to one of these sessions, which I've made a note where I
Yeah.
can go to.
So, thank you.
Yep.
So we'll move on now to the second point, which is our board rules and policy, or procedures. And we discovered in going through this, and that there were a couple, several, I should say, edits. So I am going to ask for a motion on the floor, so that we can have a discussion on this. So if I could call for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Cedar Creek Township Board Rules and Procedures.
Sport.
All right. Then if we could begin discussion on this, so, and I'll just go through then with the changes, the edits that.
Yeah, and she's gonna do it by numbers, I believe, so you can follow and put the changes in as we go.
Okay.
I was hoping you would do that,
Yeah.
if I was ready.
So if you will look at your policy, at the policy manual, the board rules and procedures, and if you first turn to item 3.1, and change, it technically is not a major issue, but it is change calendar to fiscal.
Right there.
And I'm gonna try and work from two things at one time here.
fiscal year.
Yes, because it really is, it is our fiscal year, although it does say our calendar year in April. It's our fiscal year.
Okay.
Usually when you say new calendar year, you're thinking January.
So we
Just to
So
make
we
it more
decided
clear.
it
figured
really,
fiscal would be more explanatory if they question why we're saying April here, because our fiscal year is from April to March.
yeah. So I think that, and that one is, thanks, Heather brought that to the table. That really is much clearer if you, when we say fiscal year. And then, if any of you have, after I run through these, if any of you have anything else, please, bring these up after this. Item 6.2 is the next one. Members of the public shall be limited to speaking one time for a maximum of 2 minutes during the public comment period on agenda items only. And then in brackets, first comment period
So are we changing the 3 minutes to 2 minutes?
to 2 minutes.
It was originally 2 minutes, and we had suggested 3, and
I
then
thought
we
we,
went back to 2
Well,
because they've got 2 times to do it. The attorney just didn't change it.
Comma, and an additional 2 minutes on any topic during the brackets final public comment period.
Yeah, we just decided that we needed to clarify the first comment is on the agendas and the second comment is on
That's fine.
anything.
Yep.
So anywhere that it says 3 minutes is back to the original 2 minutes. Okay. Six point two, which on page 7, at the top of the page, where it says, midway in the paragraph there, it says, however, comma, the setup and location of equipment to record, videotape, broadcast, or televise township meetings shall not block. We need to
It says shall
insert
block.
not. Stephanie caught that. As many times as I've looked at that, I did not,
What is
I did not
block?
catch
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, I went to her and I says, you're gonna let them block the egress?
Yeah.
No, it's supposed to say not.
So,
Take that word out.
yeah, so add.
No, add the word not in.
Not,
You
yeah.
need to
Shall
add
not block.
Shall
Not.
Not, we're adding not block in there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, now we're moving to 7.3. At the second sentence, or second line, we're deleting and after comments and before. So you're deleting and right there. It's the first word in the second line.
Just taking that out, just it made more sense without it.
Okay.
Now we're going to page 11 to number 11. Third line, there's a typo there.
Oh, our,
Are,
It
it's
says AE.
third word. It's which they are.
Yep, right there. R.
Nice.
Heather caught that
How
one
did
too,
we
didn't
see
you?
that?
Or did you catch that
But I
one?
think we would have just put it there in our own mind and said,
Well, yeah,
it's-
when you ever
you don't
seen
have-
those
yeah, you
things and they don't have it
yeah.
worded right and you can still read it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I read those things on Facebook all the time. Can you read this? Yes, I can.
And then on page 12, you are deleting the last, beginning with if. 12.3, I'm sorry,
12.3 is-
12.3.
I'm on page 12.
Yep, so right here, starting right there.
Yeah, you got it.
delete the entire section starting with if the ordinance and ending with
So all this.
distribute
Yeah,
the
rest of
copies.
the page, basically.
So this whole thing?
Yeah,
So-
because
We've spoken with the county clerk
You don't do
and this
that all
is
through
not
there.
done. So if for some reason we believe the county clerk needed to know of an ordinance change, we would automatically send it to the clerk, but it's not
I remember
mandated.
you saying you called the clerk to
yeah,
see if
see
this
if
was
that,
done.
yeah, I told you about that one when
Yeah.
you came in, yeah.
So those are the changes to this policy, as it stands right now. So Bob, did you have anything else that you saw
I
in
did
there?
have a question on the 2/3 full board vote.
Okay,
'Cause
which
Where you
item is
at?
that
it?
would be under 3.3,
Okay,
and it's 2/3, we always do majority vote, and 2/3.
That is 2/3.
Well,
That would be,
yeah,
that would
but
equal.
say for instance, you have a big group, say 30 people, 25 vote. 17
This
is
doesn't
the number
pertain-
that you would need to.
Right, but this only pertains to the 5 people on the board,
Okay.
so
Well,
that's
I
why
under-
she's got 2/3.
Okay.
Because you
Because
have
everything
to,
else says majority vote, and then I noticed that.
oh,
only-
I gotcha.
That's the only one that says 2/3 vote, so I thought that was kinda odd, because
Bob, what
some
was
of
the
the
number
other.
on that 6 point what?
it's 3.3.
3.3,
This is-
right there,
this is-
it's under emergency,
Yeah, the
special
last
and or
paragraph.
Oh, that's
emergency
the one I
meetings.
asked you about, so I'll let you.
Is that because it's of the full board, not of a quorum, not a majority of quorum? Because a quorum is 3.
Quorum is 3.
So it might be that it's all, it has to be 2/3 of the 5. It can't be 3 people met in quorum and 2 of them voted for it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It does,
Yeah.
but
But this is an emergency meeting shall be held without 18 hours' notice only upon consent of 2/3 of the full board, and only if a delay would be considered as an eminently important to the health, safety, and welfare of the public.
I had the same question,
We're-
Bob,
Yeah, and I
she
answered it.
explained it to me, if there's a flood, or if there's a fire here, we can't get 18 hours, we need to meet now.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to have at least 2/3 of the majority of the board
To me.
to vote.
2/3 does not equal 3 out of 5 though.
There's our math
You
person.
have to have a minimum of 2/3, which is 66.7, and 3 out of 5 is 60%. So you have to have 4 out of 5 in this case, or 3 out of 4, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I understand the emergency and all that, I'm just saying mathematically,
It's
those, the
it's
legal.
still gonna be,
two-
it's gonna
2/3
be,
is not gonna work. You
Yeah.
need
So
a
we need to take
majority
that
or-
out. Good catch, Bob.
And I think in that situation you're describing, you'd wanna be able to
it's still,
push.
we're gonna be
You're talking about emergency, you want, you
Yeah.
won't be held back by not being able to.
by a math that doesn't
Right.
work.
Right, that's my,
So,
That's
So
what
do
we
we
would
do
have
the
to up it.
majority and take the 2/3 out and go back to the majority?
but who's the majority?
The
All of us?
majority would be at least 3 out of the 5.
Okay,
Right.
And that's how it could read.
Right.
It could still be the full board, but majority instead of 2/3. Yeah, that's a good
in
point,
a
because if it's
situation where
during
you
an
only reach 3
emergency.
people, if you had
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
people voting
Three.
yes.
By the
it's a
majority of the board.
So you
Right.
wouldn't have to reach the other 2
Yeah.
people if you couldn't.
Right, okay. That
Okay,
makes
then,
sense.
So change 3.3 with consent of the majority
Majority.
of the full board?
Yeah.
Good catch.
thank you, Chuck.
No problem.
And as much as I'd like to say that emergencies don't happen, we all in fact know they do. And more and more emergency situations are happening that people do not expect, aren't planning for. And one in fact happened to my son in Connecticut. And so, and he lost the entire bottom of his home, not in a floodplain. And so, which he did not plan for. So, therefore, those are the kinds of things that, while it's not exactly what we're talking about, those are the kinds of emergencies that people don't plan for. So, are people comfortable with that change?
I'm
The majority?
comfortable with
Yes.
that change, I think it's better.
Peggy, do you have any changes?
No,
on-
I think you got them all.
Okay, all right. With those edits, then I'd like to take
So I'll
this-
reword my, motion
Okay,
to, adopt the rules, the board rules and procedures with the corrections that were made today. Bob, you still agree with that?
Sport.
Okay.
You wanted me to say that, didn't
I
You
changed
was
the
gonna
motion
pick
and
on
you
you,
seconded
so.
it, so I wanted to make sure you agree. Okay, so everybody's done discussing?
you? Yeah, we're
Trust,
done.
okay. Trustee Foster,
Yes.
trustee right.
Yes.
I'm looking and I'm saying the wrong names here. Treasurer Jarvis.
Yes.
Clerk Kuziak, yes. Supervisor Arts.
Yes.
Motion passes, rules are done.
all right, thank you. We will get those changes made, and then, I'm looking at you and saying the wrong name. Stephanie will then put the correct policy number on that,
Yes.
and it will go in our manual. And we will also put this on our
Website.
website so that anyone can have access to it. Okay, under new business. First, I want to thank Bob because,
I got nowhere with them though.
but,
But you did the research.
but you
I
tried.
was persistent.
Yes, you were, and for that I am eternally grateful because I don't know what to say.
You don't have to say nothing.
Well, I want to, other than thank you,
Bob, do they
because,
normally do that?
Well,
Except for
they're
this
getting
year?
out of the business of helping townships out. You know, they don't wanna feel like the middleman, and I understand that. I talked to Jay Feltman, and they're subbing a lot of the work out now that they used to do. And so the townships are, basically, you gotta fend for yourself.
So the road commission is only doing the, like,
Safety-
arrow signs and the
safety
stop
si-
signs,
they're
yeah.
doing the
That's
safety
about it.
regulatory.
They're-
That's
Yes.
it.
The road
As far as
commission is
anything
now
else,
doing
they're-
safety
yeah,
signs.
okay.
You are now looking at Linda Arts and Bob Wright are now the Cedar Creek Township road crew.
Okay, we can do that.
She needs a
We don't
hard
have
hat.
that much to do. Well, I'm looking
So much
at
for
this, and
retirement.
I got some ideas, so.
Okay.
I'm looking at this, I have
Well,
ideas.
first of all, I'm budgeting for road crew hats. I want a pink
Oh
one.
my gosh, I should be matching t-shirts too.
I told her I was getting her a hat for Christmas, I said Cedar Creek
Well,
Township
and,
Road
you
Crew.
know, it has been brought up that, you know, our road signs, they're very important.
Yeah, they are.
You know, and they're, a lot of them are starting to fade. I mean, somebody's in a hurry to try to find, say, an emergency vehicle, not real familiar in the area or whatever, fly by a road, and that might have been the road they needed because they couldn't read the sign.
They're missing.
Well, he has one right there on Bain Road,
It's bleached out. yeah.
and you can't.
You can't even see it.
No.
It's true.
It's faded so bad.
Well, and the one on Holton Duck Lake Road is in fact gone. And so,
As long as the post is there, we can put a new
Well-
sign on it.
Is the post still there?
I don't know. I don't even know if the post is there. I don't think it is. But right now you have in front of you the quote for, from Wild Signs, and they have been very helpful. I have to give them credit. They did a great job on our signs here, and they also, I called them to get some other information, because I wanted to know, do you know offhand what the street sign height is? Is it 10 feet or 12 feet? They told me they thought it could be either one.
Both.
Yeah.
They've done it both, and it just matters in the area you're at, you know? I mean, we got guys that have put them up 12 feet, not told the supervisor they were supposed to be 10 feet, and then all of a sudden they're saying, wow, that thing's kinda high.
Okay.
You know, new guys we got, everybody makes mistakes.
Okay.
Is the average
I-
10 feet though, for a street sign?
First street sign, yeah, me and Ron, we did the one on Rupert, and that was really hard for me because I could hardly reach on the tailgate with the post pounder,
Yeah.
but Ron did
Is
it.
is
so-
that what those little poundy things are?
Yeah, that pounds the post in, and
That
then
helps the
we
digging, so you
put
don't
the
have to
sign, we
dig
did
it.
the Rupert.
I don't even think I can lift those.
They're not light. I've
No,
used
they're
it
heavy.
and put the stake
Yeah.
post down, yeah.
We had
Let it
guys-
be known that the Cedar Creek, this part of the Cedar Creek Township road crew might not be able to do that part of the job.
Build them muscles, we'll send you to training.
Already failed.
It's also affected by terrain though, too.
But looking
Yeah.
at this quote, and I talked to Stephanie, you weren't in your office that day. The road commission actually gets them 10-foot posts for $50, and I see these are $67.95. Jay Feltman told me use 4x4s. He said
I'm not
that,
putting a 4x4, they won't last.
Not on a street sign.
no, not a street sign,
Oh.
but for like the transfer station
Oh.
and stuff in there, be perfect, and they're half the price. $25 for an 8 or 10-foot 4x4.
Treated?
Yeah. And that's what
I thought
Jay's
this was
going
kinda
to
high
on a
myself.
lot of stuff. And then they're doing 6x6s, of course, for the big stuff. But if you look out on the highway, you're seeing a lot of wood out there now.
Really?
Yeah. They're getting away from the metal
They're not cheap.
because it's so expensive. Jay Feltman told me to personally tell you, go to the 4x4s, so. But for street signs, and then he told me Lowe's, you can get these signs, or these posts at
Yes.
Lowe's, special order.
No.
They don't
usually
have them in the
them.
store,
I had
but
gotten
you
them in the
can
store.
special order them, and they are cheaper than
Yep.
what
Yep,
they would be
Mhm.
here.
that's true.
And Jay said if you want, you can call him too, so.
Okay,
He'll give you a little direction, so. He's a good guy.
yeah, I know Jay is a good guy. Well, that's gonna blow this out, cause,
Well, I don't think it will blow it out with what you and I kind of talked about.
to do the River Road post, it's $211.14 at 12 foot. To do that street sign,
A 12 foot or 10 foot?
12 foot. I said 12 foot.
Okay, because we don't have any 12 foot on here.
No, they're,
These are 8 and 10.
To do, I'm not talking about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm
okay.
talking about River Road. To do a River Road one, it's $211.14. And that's with a mounting kit for $25. That's including the double-sided River Road, which it's by characters, $75 for double, and to do the Holton Duck Lake Road, because that's with the amount of characters in Holton Duck Lake Road. Why did we have to live in such a long road?
And that's not installed, right? That's just the materials.
We're the installers,
Right,
Stephanie.
okay. Well, I'm just clarifying that that's.
we'll
that's-
get them installed.
Yeah.
Right, but I
Well-
just wanted to clarify,
Yeah.
the $211 wasn't installed, it's just the
No,
parts.
no, they
Well,
don't
we did,
install. Well,
we
they
did
don't
the
install.
Rupert sign with the
Yeah.
Holton Duck Lake
And you
Road.
have
But
the
Tony Crosser,
They
We have, Ron's got
You
one of
guys
those. It's
okay.
rusty, but
ordered
it's,
it.
works.
who'd you guys use years ago?
We didn't.
Tony Crosser's the one
Tony
that got
did
us.
it, or Dick did it, or Jim Mustin did it, or,
Well, I know Tony got them from somebody, and
oh, well,
me
those
and
we,
Ron put it,
Ron has one. You and Ron used Ron's, I think.
we
But I
had got
mean-
some, I think they might have come from the road commission themselves, and they were just in the shed, because they never got used.
Hmm.
That's where those came from, and those were from years ago.
And
We've
then,
had those.
and there were only 3, that was
Right.
the problem, and I thought there were a bunch.
Yeah,
And
there
there
were
was
only
only,
3.
you kept saying there's a bunch out there, which really misled me.
Oh.
So, so there were.
I didn't,
Yeah, and
tell
there,
them, so I
there's
don't
a, 3-bolt anti-theft kit on the top, and that's $7.98. And they told me that some people use them and some people don't.
The road commission uses them.
The road commission does use those,
Yeah.
because you're spending a
Them
lot.
signs are aluminum.
Yeah, there's.
yeah, never thought of that.
We-
So they're
we know
stealing
what
them. That's
happens.
why we don't have one at River Road.
We know what happens to the, catalytic converters too, when
Yeah.
something's
Right.
expensive, yeah. So, anyway, my original motion was for $2,500 to cover posts for the transfer station and recycling center and any roads that were able to fit into the budget. But I'm listening to what you're saying, Bob, about partially using wood. But I don't have to spend all that money either.
No, I just
Right.
think,
So-
I'd like to make a motion that we set aside $2,500 for you
budget,
to,
yeah.
for you to be able to budget and get the materials needed to take care of the transfer station signs and the road signs.
I
That
agree.
we can do. So
It's
you-
gotta get done.
So you're seconding my motion?
Yes.
Okay,
Good
any
idea.
discussion?
I would just note, I would think that that would fall under maintenance. And we have a little over $4,000 left in our maintenance, so we're just gonna wanna keep an eye on that in case
We need to do a
we need to
budget
do a
amendment
budget
with it.
amendment
Okay.
later on.
Okay, all right,
So we're okay right now,
Thank you.
but keep an eye on it.
So
okay.
my motion is to, give Linda the authority to spend up to $2,500 on signs
And posts?
and posts.
Okay.
And for the transfer station and street signs. Trustee Foster.
Yes.
Trustee Wright.
Yes.
Treasurer Jarvis.
Good job, yes.
Clerk Kuziak, yes. Supervisor Arts.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we use the sign, Bob? The sign that's existing, the posts that are existing on the new sign, and to replace the,
You talking about the one you've got
The
there
big
right
one?
now with the wood around it to hold it?
yeah, do you think that'd work? The big sign out there, we wanna move
Yeah.
it forward, the big
Out at,
Cedar Creek Transfer Station and Recycling Center, do you think that sign would work? That,
with wood,
Mhm.
should. I don't know why it wouldn't, but you wanna move that,
It's too far back.
you want it to where they can see it.
We want,
Yeah.
so people know exactly what's going on and what's right there. Because a lot of people pass it because they don't realize it's a transfer station because it sits so far back. We need to have it closer to the road so
That's been
people.
And
sitting, that's been sitting there
It'd
for
be
a long
easy
time.
access for somebody to come in and take the bolts out of it, but if you get them 1 bolts, like you talked about,
Lock.
and maybe Jay can help us with some of them bolts, I don't know.
Okay,
He won't help us with the post, but maybe the bolts.
okay.
You think they would really do that? Take
Yeah.
The signs?
Oh.
Yeah.
They came out here and took our catalytic converter off a $600 truck. What do you
Yeah, and there's somebody in
I
Cedar,
remember hearing about that when we had the,
Mhm.
yeah,
When
and
we
there-
did the tire
the
drive.
tires, yeah.
there literally is somebody in Cedar Creek that's going around people's homes right now too, walking in. And I would like to, while we're talking
Getting too
about
close to home.
we're talking about safety, there is someone, lock your doors. They have not yet discovered who that is. They caught one. They did caught
Caught
one?
2 of them.
Okay, Linda, that's
Cedar
not the right
Creek,
word.
or, over in Twin Lake, they got 2 of them yesterday.
Okay,
Were they walking in and,
yeah,
wow,
so,
I hadn't heard that.
yeah, it's, you need to be,
I
you
might
need
even
to be
have their
safe.
names,
Lock
or
up your,
Andy's probably seen it on Twin
Oh my
Lake
God, I
World
double
News.
lock
What's that?
everything.
The 2 guys that were arrested yesterday.
Well, they finally get them? I haven't seen that
There's
yet.
2 of them.
Oh, good.
They got the
Good.
names.
yeah, so I don't know if they're the only 2 that are in this ring or whatever, but please lock up your homes. So, okay, thank you for passing that. Board comments. Any, Peggy, do you have any comments they want to make?
I'm trying to think back, because you got me by surprise. I think after our last meeting, I did have the senior millage meeting, so that was actually in-person meeting, so which was kind of interesting. We upped the amount for the snow plows for the seniors, so we've got, the Tim Cross will be plowing for the seniors.
Okay.
And you'll have to get on that list, because he can only take up to, I believe, only 30 people. So you have to kind of get on his list now.
Sally LaFrance, we need to get her on that list.
You have to be, of that age, and he will ask you the question of, it doesn't mean much to him, but he would like to know, let's just say you got Social Security only and you made $1,000 a month. That's just a ballpark figure. I don't know what anybody makes, but he would like to know that kind of information, because he'll take the more needier persons before he will take, the higher amount. So we did accomplish that, and we did approve for him to get a few more people this time around.
What was
So
his name again?
Tim Cross.
Tim Cross.
Do you remember what church that was, Peggy?
Oh my goodness, I'd have to look it up.
I
Yeah,
think I know, but
Reformed, something
yeah.
reformed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. I can get that for you.
Okay,
Yeah, I can get that for you.
thank you.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to talk to him afterwards, because, I just wanted to make sure he was ready and he had enough plows. So he does have enough plows this time to do it.
That's really nice.
So if you know of anybody, get on the board now, if he's not full already,
That, if I recall, that filled up really
Real
fast.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie,
I have nothing.
Bob,
I have nothing, believe it or not.
Heather.
I have something.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
You'll all be excited to know that your winter tax bills will be sent December.
Heather, we didn't need that.
That takes
Fair
right out of my
warning.
sale.
It's just fair warning.
December what now?
December 1st.
First, oh, right at the beginning of the month?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
don't
are
have to
just
pay
a breath
until
of fresh
February.
air,
Yeah,
Heather.
The holiday season's upon.
Yeah.
Save for it throughout the year.
Jerry
I-
Bean
I
always
do my
used to
own
call it
estimate.
his Christmas card. You're gonna send me my Christmas card.
Yes, he
They don't
did.
have food and stuff on the shelves, and you remember tax.
I know. Why can't there be a tax bill shortage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a shortage on everything else. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
I have a couple things really quickly. It's too late for those who are watching this via the website, but on Friday, November 12th, from 1 to 3, our Senior Millage Fund is sponsoring Teach and Crafts. That is tough.
Teach.
And I have heard of all sorts of horror stories about people who have been scammed. So that's what this is about. We have someone coming to talk to us about how not to get hoodwinked. And she will be talking about a few other things about, safe seniors. It's that Safe Senior program. But literally, the horror stories would make your hair curl. So if you're not signed up, please join us from 1 to 3 on Friday. And we're going to have some cookies and tea as well. So this is for people 60 and older.
And crafts.
Okay.
And crafts. Peggy has been in charge of the crafts, because it won't be me. I don't have a crafty bone in my body. And I also met with Jeff Krichmarek, our Eagle representative from the state of Michigan 2 weeks ago. Jeff came here to do a site visit of our recycling center. And I explained that I'm also vice chair of our solid waste committee, so unfortunately, the only time that he could come, I also had to be at a solid waste committee meeting. So he was able to meet with me for a few moments before I had to leave, and then Stephanie took him out to the recycling center. And it's my understanding that he was duly impressed by our facility. He loved the bin and was really impressed by the recycling and transfer station in in and of itself. So this is the close of our recycling program. And I now just have to write the Cedar Creek recycling story, and that closes up our grant. So it wraps it up with a nice little bow. We tell our story, and I send it in to Jeff. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyone else? Then, public comments. Andy,
I'll offer two things quickly if I can.
you may.
I do a weekly update with, and this is for people that are listening at home too. I do a weekly update with our public health director, Kathy Moore, and we are disproportionately affected by COVID death and infection in the northern tier of Muskegon County. We are leading every zip code in Muskegon on people that are dying and being found in their homes with no treatment whatsoever, and we are also leading the infection rate. And this carries on into northern counties like Newaygo and Oceana as well. So something to really consider, to be careful and be safe, because even the inner cities are doing much better than we are up this way. Second of all, we've started a program, and it was a really hurry up and go thing with the Community Foundation and Goodwill on the child tax credit. If you're a non-filer for taxes, you can still file for a child tax credit. And a non-filer would be somebody that doesn't file for lack of income or possibly maybe a disability or something like that they don't have to necessarily file for the federal tax. In our first week of pushing this out to get people to Goodwill to have them help for free to see if they qualify for any of this child tax income credit, the zip codes in Muskegon County have brought in $406,200 to people that didn't know they had this money coming, which is phenomenal. And the average person is getting $4,275. And if they complete that by November 15th, they will have that deposit made by December.
Wow.
So those are some pretty significant things to mention. So thank you for my 2 minutes.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. And Cedar Creek Township did post that on our website. So we wanted people to know, because we do have a significant population here who might be of that status where they might not file. So I wanted people to know about that. So
You can find more, if I may, you
Yes.
can find more information on Goodwill's website, goodwillwmi.com, Muskegon channel, or the Cedar Creek website.
okay,
Sure.
thank you. All right.
I
Public.
make a
Anyone else may have any other public comments that they want to make? All right.
motion to adjourn.
Sport. I beat you.
I know, I'm.
All right. All right, great meeting, everyone. Thank you very much.